any idea shell is? Own from your own that's shell is.
I think it's like an enclosure,
Okay.
but it has a space.
It's had a space. Okay, okay. Is that all, sir?
I should think so. It has a space. Something might actually occupy that space, or it
All
could
right.
be free.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your attention, sir. So, any other trial? Okay, without wasting our time, a shell is actually a program for some actually and gives them to the operating system to perform. Just takes in commands from the terminal and gives them to the operating system to perform what now I'm accessing my terminal from here. I hope I'm seeing this properly. You are all seeing now. It's like it's the graphical user interface. We call it GUI. It's what we all see in the systems we use nowadays. It's the graphical user interface. Probably you are on a Windows machine. This is a Linux machine. Probably majority of us is on we're on the Windows machine. So that design that we see, the desktop where we have the Windows Explorer, the computer, and all sorts of things, they are graphical user interface. And we are software engineers. That platform is not meant for us. And you will soon see why the reason why the Linux platform, the Linux operating system actually is the one accurate for us as we go ahead in this program. So now the ALX has actually seen the reason for this, and they actually know that majority of you are, of us actually are newbies. We are coming from a Windows operating system environment. So that's why they built that web term in the sandbox so that we can access our sandbox using that web term. Do you understand? So basically, this my own system terminal here is working exactly the same way what that web terminal is doing. Do you understand? But for now, I prefer using this my local machines terminal. So this is the terminal here. A similar thing on this in the Windows environment is the command prompts that we have. I guess so many of us will be familiar with that command prompt in the Windows environment. Now, whatever we do on this terminal, this is the terminal. This is where we input commands for the shell to receive and transfer to the operating system to work on. I hope you get it. So whatever we do on this terminal is the exact um, thing that we want the system to do, the machine to do. I hope you are getting it. So on our GUI, the GUI is graphical user interface. So I will be repeating it as GUI henceforth. So on this GUI, I have my Windows Explorer, File Explorer. This is the desktop. These are my applications. So I hope you are seeing the screen. Let me maximize it.
Yes, I'm seeing that.
Okay. All right. So these are the icons on my my File Explorer. These are the folders that I have on my system, the lifted desktop, etc. Now, if I want to access this deleted code, it is easy for me to double click from here. and it will open. Do you get it? Now, this thing I'm doing is navigation. I'm navigating through my System Explorer. Now, this left pane, I have some folders that have been put there. I can access this downloads folder by just clicking on it here and it will open. This directory is actually a folder. We have this folder. Double click it, I didn't get right then. Inside this, found my way with whatever I want to do. Now, the same thing I can do with this terminal. Because as a software engineer, I would actually be working with the terminal. Everything I will be doing will be on the terminal. Let me zoom this one out. I hope you are seeing it. Now, what we are currently seeing is called the prompt. All right, sir. What we're actually seeing currently is the prompts. And the prompt contains this first that I've highlighted here from the beginning is my current username that I've used to log on this machine, and this is the name of my machine that I'm working on. So deleted at this. Now, the prompt with this $sign is telling me that I am not a super user. Now, there is probably in the Windows environment, there is an admin, there's a user that is an administrator by default. I hope you are all aware. Because with this $sign now, there are some things I would not be able to do. And it is there for precaution purposes. Because anything I do with the super user will affect the machine generally. So this shell, this is the shell now actually. The first thing I'm going to introduce us to as the first command is, okay, let me say, who am I? Who am I tells us what username is currently logged on the machine that is being worked on. Now, this shell, this terminal, the only thing it accepts is a command. So anything I want to do, I must be a registered command that has been programmed in the shell that is recognized by the shell. So let's just say, what is my name? My name is Oluwasegun. Now, this name that I just typed, is my name, and all of us hear that this is my name. But let's see if this machine recognizes this thing. By pressing enter, are we seeing what is prompted out? Hello?
Yes, command not full.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah, command not full. All right, sir. That is to tell us that Oluwasegun, though it is meaningful to us as human beings, this is my name, I have told everyone. But to this machine, it is not found. It is not a command, so it is alien to it. Do you understand? So that's to tell us that this machine, this terminal only accepts registered commands that has been inputted, that has been programmed in the shell. Now, those commands there are numerous of them. We can't exhaust them. We can't know everything. You get so, but we can be familiar with the popular ones that we will always use every now and then. So, to start with, let's say let me introduce us to the first one, the man command. The man command is actually a short form for manual. So this man command gives us what if you want to make a findings about any command, the man command gives us what the command is used for. So I've pressed this man now. Let's now do man man and see what it will bring out. So man is telling us that we're actually trying to find out what man is used for. So it's telling us that it's an interface, it's a manual page it is. So man is an interface to the system reference manuals. So anything you want to know about, any command that you want to know about, just press. If I want to quit this now, I'll just press H for help or Q to quit. So if you just press man and that command, so man will bring out the manual for that command and how to use that command and the necessary flags or arguments to use with that command. I hope you are getting it. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Yes, sir. Please, I want to suggest
all right.
something. Can we try the man
Okay.
for who am I so that we can understand better?
All right. Better. So, man for who am I? Are we seeing it? The name is who am I? Then what it does is it prints effective user ID, just as we have seen. You get, when I first used it, it printed out DELIFTED. That's my username that is currently logged on this machine. You get it? So that is what it does. That is what man does. Man gives us manual or explanation and how to use the command that we put in front of it. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, thank you. I heard something. So let's go ahead. Now, this prompt, I hope you are seeing the prompt. That will I say insertion point now? That's blinking point. That's the prompt. This system is currently on lifted at the lifted HP. That's the home. That's the home of that how do I, of the current working directory that we are. Now, I want to. There is a way I can. Okay, let's say I want to see things that are current in this working directory. I'm coming, please. I want to go back to the File Explorer and Home. This is the home I opened earlier, and this is exactly where this terminal is pointing to now. You get? So if I want to see the items that are contained in this current directory, I can do ls. So what ls does is it lists current current files and folders of the current working directory. Are we seeing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that is what ls does. Let me now clean all of these things and let's see what ls is doing here. So if I do ls, we are seeing it. So I have Betty, the lifted codes, desktop, all of these things in this my current working directory. You get it? Now, these details that we have in blue color, they are folders. We call them directories. They are directories. And this one in this ordinary white color is a file. That's how we can differentiate them from this screen here. So that's to say that Betty documents, pictures, they are directories, and this is a single file. Now, let's go and see them from the Explorer. This is Betty. This is the lifted codes, the exact things that we had on the terminal. I hope we are seeing it. The exact things that we had on the terminal is here in the file explorer. Betty, the lifted codes, documents, downloads, and everything. So from here, from this GUI, if let's say I want to access Betty, I could then double click on it here and it will open. What if I want to access Betty from this my CLI? CLI is command line interface. And I told you this CLI is what we are going to be using most as a software engineer. So what if I want to access this Betty directory? I'll do CD. CD means change directory. I hope you are getting it. So if I want to enter Betty in the GUI, what I did was just to double click on it and it opened. But here in the CLI, what I have to do is CD change directory inside. Now what do I want to change directory into? Betty. Now from here, let me explain that anything we do here is very, very case sensitive. So if I had done this is different from this, I hope we know. So anything we are doing here is very, very case sensitive. Betty that we had was capital B, uppercase B, E-double-T-Y. So CD Betty would go inside the Betty folder. Now we can see from the next prompt, just for the reason that the prompt did not bring an error, just like in this case, Oluwasegun command not found. Do you get it? So this is telling us that whatever we have done is right, and it has put Betty before the prompt here, before the $ prompt. So this is telling us that we are currently inside the Betty folder. Now we are inside the Betty folder, but we are not seeing the contents of it. So what do we do to access the contents of Betty folder? Any suggestion?
LS.
LS.
Do the LS command.
All right, thank you. LS command. LS shows us the contents of Betty folder. Now let's go and confirm this from the GUI. So this is Betty. Double clicking on it, we have Betty. So bettydoc.pl. I hope you are seeing it. Everything here has been listed here. You get to this to tell us that everything that we do in this command line interface is having a direct effect, is showing directly on the GUI. You get it? Now, I need to say at this point that let us be very careful of how we go around on this command line interface, because unlike the GUI, there is a way we undo our activities. On this command line interface, there is nothing like undo. Anything you do is just there and permanent and forever like that. I hope we get. So we should always be careful with whatever we are practicing on this command line interface. There is no undo button on this interface. Now let's say I'm going inside Betty. I want to go back to the previous directory that I was before. We call it the parent directory. So I want to exit Betty and go back out. From this file explorer, I could easily click this back button. I hope you are seeing it. This back button would go back one step. So I want to do exact thing here. How do I do it? So I'm using the same CD. I want to change directory, but where am I CDing into? Where am I changing directory back to? Now this is saying CD one step back. I hope we are getting it. CD one step back. We are now back out. Now let's LS back again and see that we are back to where we were before. We are back to the home, the everything. I hope we are getting it. Now, so that is what CD does. CD is change directory. You can always change directory more and more and more. Okay, let me CD into documents. I have inside documents, I have Adenike's directory. So cd into Adenike's directory again. If you see anything that you don't understand, please, you are free to ask any question. There's never a wrong question, please. So currently, who can tell us our current working directory, where we are currently?
I think
Adenike.
Adenike's directory.
Okay. Adenike's directory. Now, there's a command to do that separately. Let's say we have worked and we have opened, we have gone inside so many directories and so much like that, and we want to know what directory we are currently on. So we can do pwd. So what pwd does is it prints working directory. It will tell us where exactly we are. So pwd this. So it has told us that from home we went to deleted, from deleted we went to documents, from documents we are now in Adenike's directory. I hope you are getting it. So if we want to go back inside documents, we are currently on Adenike's directory. So we want to go back a step back. I told you this is it, a step back. So if you want to go another step back again, we can do this again. So all of these things, there are a shorter way to do them, but for now, there's still a second class coming up on shell navigation again. So that will tell us shorter ways to do all of these things, but for now, let's have it like that. Now I've had my screen filled up like this, and I want to do some other things. Though I can always do some other things like this, but I don't like how my screen is this puffy. So I want to clear my screen. There's another way to do that. Sorry, before clearing my screen, I want to go back to. Okay, I'm coming. All right. So I want to clear my screen. I can always do this. Clear, CLEAR, just clear. What it does is just to clear the screen. Now, let's know that clearing the screen does not.
Before you proceed,
Okay.
I see that before clearing, you have to go back to the Adekunle directory, right?
No. I wanted to show you something using that because I was on the home directory. So I want to show you that clearing the screen does not automatically send you to the home directory. I hope everyone gets it.
Okay.
The screen is cleared actually, but don't see it like you are starting afresh. The screen is just cleared. You are still on your current working directory. You have not left it. The screen is just cleared for you to access a better screen, a better view of what you are working on. So if I still ls on this, or if I still do pwd on this, print working directory, I'm still on my last working directory that I was. I have not left it there, even though the screen cleared. I hope we all got that.
Okay.
Now,
Right.
I want to go back, I want to go back to the home. There's a way I can go back to the home straight, but let's just follow this. A step back, I can do this, a step back again. So this is saying that I want to go back 2 steps back. Are we getting this? So if I do enter on this, I am back to my home directory. So if I do pwd now, I'm back to my home. I hope we are getting it. So cd dot that dot slash dot like that is dot. This one dot means one step back, and the second one is saying another step back. So I'm doing them together as against doing cd dot twice. I hope you understand it. So that is what cd does, and that is what clear does. So with our little time now, we have discussed man, ls, cd, and clear. Those are the 4 functions, 4 commands that we have taught. Any question on that before we proceed? Any question?
No question from my end for me.
I think someone is raising
All
up
right.
his hand. Someone's hand is up. Mr. Peter Babatunde. Your hand has been up since.
Okay, I think Sandra Odeke too is raising their hands.
Yes, my question is there a command to undo clear? Is there a command that I can use to undo clear when I clear whatever I've cleared?
No. The reason is clear is just clearing the screen for you. It's not clearing everything you have done. You get it? So for now we have, let's say, okay. Now, if you want to access the previous commands that we have used, you can just use the arrow keys, because in this CLI command line interface, the mouse does not work. Everything we use is the keyboard. So if you want to access the previous command that I've used, so like I want to show us something, I'm pressing the upper arrow, the arrow key up, it will give us the previous ones we have used. So I want to go back to this directory and I want to ls. Okay, like this now, our screen is filled up. You get it? Now, I now clear it. If I want to go back to that view, I could just, like, clear screen. Clear screen just clear the screen, you get it? But in the terminal, if you use, there are sometimes that if you use your mouse scroll button, it could bring back the previous screen. I hope you are getting it. But don't worry about whatever you are playing, because
If you use button, sorry.
it did not really clear it. I hope you are getting it. It did not really clear what we have done. It just cleared the screen for us to have a better view of what next we want to do. That's why I first said that it did not return us back to where we are coming from. So, okay, I've cleared this back now. Now I want to go back to
the question.
Okay.
Okay, sorry to cut you. I discovered something. I don't know if you can put us through on it. You say blue
Okay.
color. Anyone that is showing blue colors, that is after listing our,
Yes.
after doing LS. The blue colors
Yes.
are for the directories and the folders, right?
Yeah, sure.
Why the white color is for files?
Yeah, files.
So my question is, why is it that anytime we put among those ones that we have that are white, anytime we do CD and we put our file that is white, it doesn't use to, it will say no directory or something, and it will not come up, and it's among the
Now,
list.
Let's try what you have said. Now, from this my current screen, I have this as
Background file.
vagrant file. I have it as a file. This is the only file I have here on this screen. Now, you are now saying we should see the inside this, right? Is that what you are saying? Hello? Okay.
Yeah, that's
if I
what
had
I'm
the-
saying. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Now, it is not possible. Oh, can anyone answer that question, please?
Please highlight the question again. Highlight the question again.
Now, the question is saying from this LS that we previously did, we have some in blue colors. We said those ones are directories, and we have one in white color. We now see that one is a file. You get, so we now want to CD inside this file. You get, so it's saying that it has not always been possible from its end, and that is correct. It cannot be possible. But why can it not be possible? Anyone to answer that?
Because it's a file.
That's it.
Okay.
CD is change directory. So we can only see it inside the directory. We can see it inside any of those blue colors. They are directories. But we can't go inside the file. So if I try and do this here now, the same thing, it is not a directory. So CD only works with directories. We can only CD inside a file. Just like in our GUI here, we can only go inside this folder. This is a folder here. Any attempt to double click on this one will open the file. So it's not a directory. We can't access it as a directory. I hope you get it. So let's clear again. We are still coming back to how to access files aside from directories. We are still coming back to that. So let's just go ahead from here. Now from this, my current working directory. Let's say I want to create a new file. How do we create a new file? So there are several ways to do so many things on the software engineering thing. There are several ways, but for now, let's say with Touch. What Touch does is to create a file. Now, let's know that there is a difference between file and directory, and so there are different commands that work with these things, these items. What will work for a directory will not most of the time will not work for a file. So let's say I want to create a file named code tribe. We say touch code tribe. So enter. It has created. But how do we see it? We ls. Let's now see it. We now have a new file called code tribe inside my current working directory. Now, if I had wanted to create this file in another folder, okay, let me do this. Let me go to the next one. This is how to create a file. So how do we create a directory? That is mkdir, short form for make directory. mkdir. So I can create the same directory for code tribe. Oh, I hope you are seeing that error. Let me differentiate it with this. Make directory. Code tribe. So we now have a new directory. We now have a new directory called code tribe. If you want to go inside this directory now, we cd into it.
Sorry. Please, can you explain what that error means? What does it really means?
Yeah, why it did not work?
Some
Okay,
of us might
can
be
you-
confused with that.
Okay, are you seeing the screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, I'm seeing your screen.
All right.
Clearly.
So the mkdir at this point, mkdir code tribe. So it's saying that cannot create directory code tribe because the reason is file exists. There is a file existing with that name.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I had to create a new one using another name. Code tribe. We are seeing it as code tribe, but it's actually another thing. Now I want to CD into it.
Yeah, so one has a capital C.
Yes, you are correct. You are correct. So I want to CD inside my code tribe directory. This is what I have done. Will it work or not?
It will not work.
Okay, I need another person to answer that question with
It
reason.
will not work because
Why?
you have the capital C for the main directory.
Because this one is a
Oh.
file, so it cannot work.
All right, thank you so much for that. So this should work, right?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. So we are now inside the code tribe directory. You can please unmute, mute please. Okay, so we are now inside the code tribe directory. Let's ls and see whatever we have there. Are we seeing anything? No. So it's telling us that the directory is a new one. Now let's go to our GUI and confirm if we actually have this code tribe. I hope you are seeing the screen. I hope you are seeing the changes that have been made here in this directory. Are we seeing it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
First,
Yes.
we created a file and we created a new directory, code tribe. Yeah, so we can see both of them here. The same way, let's assume inside this code tribe, we now, from this GUI, we now created a new folder here and say PLD. It's here already. The same way, just to confirm that they are both interconnected. If we ls here, the PLD is there. You get, so this is just telling us that though we are working on the CLI, but everything we are doing is on the real time. It's affecting the machine straight. Any mistake from this CLI will directly affect the machine. Because let's try and from this GUI now. Let's say I want to remove this. There's an option from this GUI to delete. Our machines usually have recycle bin, trash bin, all of those things. So the same thing here. To delete this thing, I can just do move to trash. From this trash, I can still access that PLD and return it back. In fact, I can do undo from there. I can return it back. Do you get? From this trash, I can do copy and go and return it. Or if we are in the Windows environment, I can do restore. Restore will send it back to where it came from. But this CLI, there is no undo there. So that's why we have to be always careful whatever we do on the CLI. Be sure what you want to do. If you are unsure, do man. Let the manual bring you options, explanation on that command that you want to do. Because anything you do here is final. You don't go with that. Just as we usually see. So yeah, let's ls again. We are not seeing the PLD because I've moved it from where it was before to trash. It's not here again. So let's continue. We are still inside our code tribe. Let's confirm that pwd home deleted code tribe. So we are still inside our code tribe. Now, what we want to do next is we have talked about touch and mkdir. Touch is for files. mkdir is for make directory, works for directories. So two things, similar thing, but different function, file and directory. Now let's go to how we can remove whatever we have created, either a file or a directory. So before I do that, inside this code tribe, let me touch file. So I've touched this. These are created. So let's say inside this directory now, we have this. And we have another directory, present. So from this color, we know that this present is a directory and this is a file. So I want to remove the file, I want to remove the directory. The file, I can do rm. rm removes files and directories too. You get, so depending on how you use it, rm removes files. So let's say remove pld code tribe. Enter. You don't go. So we are only left with our present directory. Now, to remove directory now, we can say remove directory present ls. So we have nothing inside the code tribe folder again. I hope we are seeing this. Are we still here?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, yes,
It's
Yes,
all right.
yes, we are with you.
All right, thank you
we're
so
with
much.
you.
All right, thank you so much. So what we have done now is we created a file and a folder, and we removed the file. We removed the same folder. Now let's say let's create back this MK. Now I told you to access the previous commands. We can press the arrow up key. We always give us what we have used before. Okay, so now I want to recreate that present folder.
Sorry, just the arrow up key.
Yeah, arrow up key, just the arrow up key will give us the previous commands we have used. Like I want to press it now. I use this one last. Let's say I want to go to the next one and use the last edit.
Yeah.
So after this one, let's here again. How we are saying it, so it will give us the ones we have always used last.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Now we have created the present folder ls. Now let's say inside this present folder we created PLD again. So inside we are currently in present folder, I hope you know. So we created PLD. Now I now want to delete the present folder. I hope we get it. I hope we are seeing it. So it's telling us that we cannot delete that folder because it is not empty. So this is just the CLI way, the terminal's way of warning us that that directory that you want to delete is not an empty directory. Be double sure that you really want to delete it, because once it is gone, it is gone. There is never an undo button here. There is no recycle bin. There is no trash folder. So once it is gone, it is gone. Now let's say we really want to delete this thing. We want to remove it. So we can just say remove directory present. Now there's something we call flags. This. I hope we can all see the screen. RMPIR-R means forcefully enact this command. Enact this command with force. Are we getting it? So if we put this -R now, the folder there, let's do this. Remove -R.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. That could actually work. We'll come back to it later. Let's do this for now. We want to remove this folder present. We want to remove it forcefully. And let's check. It has gone. I hope we are seeing it. So that flag -R is telling us that it's telling the shell that though this RM would ordinarily not work because the present directory that I want to remove is not empty. It has items inside it, but we are double sure that we want to remove it. So that's why we are including that flag -R, then the name of what we want to remove. So that's why it has gone permanently. There's no undo, there's no recycle bin, there's no trash bin. So let me chip it in at this point that let us be careful removing anything from our terminal. Like personally, me now, what I do is I have a trash bin that I send anything that I seem like I'm no more using. I send them there because I may later make use of them. I have my trash folder somewhere else inside the system. So anytime I think I don't need this file, I don't need this thing. This is my own way of recycle bin. I move them there because I may later come to realize that, oh, that file, that folder, I need it. You get it? So this is my own personal way of doing things. You could possibly enact it also. Now that will, I mentioned move, so that will take us to how to move files and folders. How to move files and folders. But before then, let us talk about copying files and folders. Copying. So let's first clear the screen. Our screen is too compact. Clear. So let's go back to where we are. ls pwd. We are double sure of where we are. So there's nothing currently inside this folder. Now let's make directory. Any folder, any idea of anything. Okay, let's just say PLD. We are creating a folder PLD. ls, it's now there. Now, inside this same working directory, we want to touch a file. Let's say micro. Touch a file, micro. Let's say ls. We now have a file micro and a directory PLD. So now, I want to copy that file into, I want to copy it. It's still in the same working directory, in the same folder. I want to copy it. Let's go back. Let's go to the GUI. Oh, did I close it? Okay. This is the GUI. This thing now, we have micro, we have PLD. Now, from here, if I want to I want to copy this file micro now. I'm sorry, please. So I could easily do copy and paste it again. You get? So the GUI, out of its own intelligence, is giving us the name. It's renaming it copy. It created a new file and added that name copy, so that there won't be the same file of the same type, of the same name. I mean, so that there won't be, because the CLI actually does a different concept about the same thing. You get? So the GUI has its own intelligence, has been built to recognize that no, there is a current file named that same name. It now puts copy automatically. In Windows operating system, it will put -1, another one -2, and so forth like that. So this is Linux, this is how it does. Now I want to do the same thing here inside our CLI. We want to copy micro. So what we will do is cp. Cp is the command to copy. So what do we want to copy? A file. Micro. Now, ordinarily doing this, it would not work, because we have to specify another name that the new file will bear. It is our own responsibility to name that oncoming file that will contain the copy of that micro. I hope we get it. So let's say micro 2. So what we are just saying in this line is that copy micro inside micro 2. So what this CLI will do is that it will create a new file and name it micro 2 and copy all of the content inside micro and put it inside that thing. The exact thing that the GUI does, but there the system will automatically generate a name for us. But here we have to do it by our own selves. That's why we're an engineer. So we have to do it by our own self. Copy micro inside micro 2. So doing this, since we have no prompt of error, so that means what we have done is correct. So let's now ls again. Do you get it? So this is telling us that I have created this inside the GUI. This is micro copy that we have done inside the GUI. We have micro 2, and what we have done inside the GUI. micro copy. Now, I want to copy. I hope you are seeing the screen. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so, all right. Is there any question at this stage, please? Is there any question? Any question? Any question? Any question before we go ahead? Any questions so far?
So I want to know,
Okay.
just as you copy this micro file to micro 2,
Okay.
to the event you want to copy a file from one directory to another directory. That means the file was in this directory, you want to copy from here to another directory. Are you going to use the same command in the same way?
Yes, we are going to use the same command, but we have to add some things depending on if what we are copying and the destination directory is still on the same working directory that we have. You know, now this micro is on this code tribe directory, and we want the copy to still be inside that code tribe directory. So we can just do cp micro inside micro 2, everything inside this code tribe. You get, so this cp, this line, this copy, this inside this, everything we are still inside here. That's why we still have, when we did ls, that's why we have micro 2, this, everything inside this code tribe. Now it is another case if we want to send, okay, let's say now we want to send this micro 2 inside pld. You know, pld is another directory, though we are still inside the same code tribe working directory, but we want to send micro 2 inside pld. So this is what we will do: cp micro 2 inside pld. What have we noticed? Is there anything we have noticed?
Sorry, say that again.
Is there anything we have noticed?
I noticed there's a forward slash after the PL.
Correct. So that forward slash is a sign that this pld is a directory. So we are sending micro 2 inside pld directory. Do you get it? So we are actually copying it. We are not moving it. So let's enter on this.
Thank you for this. I actually have an issue with this.
Okay, so let's confirm that there's nothing inside this pld folder. You see, there's currently nothing inside it. We are sitting inside it. Now let's go back. Now I want to copy. Let me ls again so that you see. Now I want to copy micro 2 inside pld
You
folder.
did not ls inside the pld. You only see the
No, look at this. I cd inside pld. Look at this line. Look at this line. I cd inside this pld.
Yeah.
And that's why we have this. You get it? So I went a step back. That's why we went back. That's when we went back to this. Now I ls to reconfirm that we are back to our code tribe directory. So now we have micro and all of the rest. So I want to send micro 2 to pld. We have earlier confirmed that pld is an empty directory now. So this will send micro 2 inside pld directory. So enter. So there's no prompt of any error. That means what we have done is correct. How can we confirm that? Let's cd inside pld. First, let's confirm that we still have micro 2 here. So we have not moved it. What we did was to copy. So we still have it here. Now let's cd inside pld. Let's see what we have there. We now have micro 2 inside it. I hope you are getting it. Now, let me go a step back. we are back to our code tribe folder now. I want to ls inside PLD without changing directory inside it. It's simple because I will be doing it anytime from now. You get, so I can just do this ls PLD. Do you get it? So don't convince this thing that we are inside PLD. No, we are not inside PLD. We are still inside code tribe, but we want to let's say giraffe inside. We want to see what is inside PLD without manually going inside it. So that's why we have done ls PLD. So we are seeing that we have our created file inside. We have copied it successfully inside it. So that is copy. The concept of copying and moving, I think we should be familiar with it even before now. So the concept of copying and moving is that we copy, we still have the original file there. No shaking, nothing dual. We still have the original file there. But when we move, everything is moved from where it was before to the new destination that we have ascertained. You get? So now let's go into how do we move. We have done copy. I hope there's no question about copying. There's no question till this very point that we are. So let's go into moving. If there's any question, you can please signify by raising up your hand. Now, we have a stuffed up screen. Let's clear it and yeah. So we want to move. ls. What can we move? We want to move micro 2. No. We want to move micro inside PLD. We already have micro 2 there. We want to move micro inside PLD. Now, before doing that, let's be aware that this is the command to move. But it literally does two functions. And let's think about the two functions. Let's think about it like this. I can use this MV to rename it. I can use it to move it completely to another point that I think it should be. Now, this MV does renaming and moving. Now, let's look at the rename concept as technically as it can be. We are renaming. That means we are actually moving the name. I don't want you to bear this name again. Let me move your name to this new name. It doesn't affect the content, but the name just changed. In the GUI, what we just do is click on rename, we give a new name and that's done. But here, we have to use the MV command. So we are moving the name now from this name to a new name. So micro, we are moving micro to micro 3.
To macro.
To what? To macro, thank you. So we are all right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are moving micro to macro now. This is what we will do. This is what we will do. Now enter. Everything done right and correct. Let's now ls. Are you seeing it? So we have micro. Before we used to have micro, we now have macro on the same spot, then other ones. So what we have just done is to rename. You get it? So the same function, the same command can be used. Now I want to move this macro inside this PLD folder. Now, if we do this, it will still bear the same name, but it will go to another. The macro will be moved to that folder. I hope you get the concept. So this is what we will do. MV, the file name, and the destination directory is the next one. Let ls. So this is what we now have inside our code tribe directory. So let now ls pld. So we now have macro and micro2 inside our pld mail. I said mail. Sorry, someone sent a message to me regarding me. So yeah, we now have macro inside pld directory. So that is moving. Moving can be used to rename, because technically renaming is we are moving the name from this previous name to this new name, the same file, the same content. And the second thing is it's moving the complete file with its content inside another directory. You get it? So it's just as simple as that, but we have to go ahead with it, go with it with our mind. We have to follow it with our mind. That is actually what this program is about. You have to follow it through with your thinking and your mind. You get it? So we have touched CP, copy, MV to move. We have touched, we have explained to copy and to move. Now we can still do some other things. There are still some other things we can do. Okay, this micro2 file, there is a way we can give it a content. Hello?
No.
Okay.
We're here.
We are here.
It's all right. Thank you so much. Now, let's say we want to give it a content. You want to give micro2 a content. So that is what VI is about. I want to believe we are not new to what VI is. Though there's a completely new VI is a project on its own. So for now, let's just do this micro2. So what we are saying is we want to edit micro2. We want to insert some text inside it. So I actually want to do some things, but I need to add some text inside micro2. You get it? So let's do this first. VI micro2. Then VI will come up. VI itself is a completely big thing, but
sorry. What if we use touch command instead, so that we will not get confused with the concept of VI? I don't know if you can take us through the touch command, because this VI is a new concept, like on its own in shell navigation.
It's a new concept on its own now.
So we'll not just
let me go back.
Get confused.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me go back. What touch does is just to create the file.
Sorry, I meant echo command.
Okay, good. That's the next one I want to do actually. So there's another file named echo. This echo does so many things actually, but just for this purpose here, I can say echo. Look at the syntax. Look at how I've used it. I want this is a code tribe PLD session. I want this to be the content of this file, micro2. I hope you have seen how I used it. Echo, the content, the proposed content inside quotation marks. Yes, could be single, could be double. Then that's greater than sign inside the name of the file. So if I do this, Echo has put that content inside it. But how do we see it? How do we see what we have done? That leads us to the next command. We can concatenate it. Cat means concatenate. Concatenate is we want to see without actually opening the file. without editing it, without opening it, we want to see what it contains from this terminal. So we can do cat micro 2. I hope you are getting it. So without editing it, okay, thank you. Without editing it, without opening it via the text editor, we can see what that file contains. Now, Echo, let me say in Scribe, Echo wrote inside the file for us. Cat will tell us what will show us, Cat would show us what it contains. Now, let's now go back to this Echo. If I did this, Echo would automatically create this new file, micro 3, and put that, whatever I've put, and put it as its contents. I hope we are getting it.
Yes, we are.
All right, thank you. So let's now see. Let's enter this. No error, so we are good to go. Now let's ls. Let's force ls. So we now have micro 2, micro 3, then others. Now micro 3 is the newly created file that Echo created. So in a nutshell, Echo 2 can create a new file, provided that the file is not currently existing. It will create that file. So what Touch does is just to create the file only. Touch creates the file only, but Echo creates the file and puts a specified, what we have specified, a specified content that we have specified. It will put it inside it. Then cat is a short form for concatenate. Concatenate just shows us cat micro 3. Concatenate shows us the content of that file. Once the file is existing, cat will show it. It doesn't matter if it was created by Touch or VI or Emacs or anything. Once the file is existing, cat would show the content. And if it doesn't have any content, I'm coming. If it doesn't have any content, it won't show anything, just as we have done. So how we are getting it? So there is difference between Echo and cat. Echo creates the file with a specified content. Cat shows whatever is inside that content. I hope we are good with that. Any question? Any question at this point? Any question at this point? Any question?
No, sir.
I have a question.
Okay, sir.
Okay, when we used Echo, we used a single quotation, then we pass it using the greater than sign then into the file. Now, is it possible if we want to like add on maybe line 2, line 3, line 4, stuff like that? Is there a way to like do that?
Yeah, there is. This is a new file. Let's say the file is to show that Echo does some other blah blah blah. So we close it. Now, if we put it inside micro 3, what the system will do is to overwrite the previous.
Yes, I just wanted to take one. I wanted to find out if this person. Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, yeah, I'm with you. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, you are online. You are here. You can please talk, please.
I'm not sure you are the one the person is addressing. Oh.
I think he's having issues with his network or something. You can go on. I just muted him.
Okay, hello. Um, Mr. Lewis, are you there? You're muted. In case you're talking.
Oh. Sorry. So let's do enter. So let's see. Cat micro 3. This is a new file. The file is to show that Echo does some other things. Are we seeing it? So there are still other ways to do these things, but this is Echo doing this for now.
Please, can you
Do you
try
get it? So,
something? Press the
okay.
arrow up key and recall the last command. Then, okay, this one. Then inside the quotations, just delete some things. You don't need to use a single quote, then delete some things. Just say this is line 2 inside the quotes.
I should delete this.
Yes, the quote should just have this is line 2 inside our quotation mark. Like the quotation after the echo, the quotation mark should only have this is line 2 as what we want to put inside micro 3 instead of having this long. Yeah, just delete it. And
Okay. This is line 2.
delete the
All
other
right.
ones. Delete the other ones by the right hand side.
Okay, so instead of having that long thing, okay, thank you, sir.
Then
So,
instead of using a single greater than, you can use double this time around, just to show that double greater than sign will tell us we want to add it on the next line, so it will not override the first line. So
the previous line. Okay. So
Then you
thank you
can
so
go
much for
ahead.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have done that. Let's now cut micro 3. So I hope we are seeing the screen. This is a new line, blah blah blah. Then this is line 2. So that is echo at work. Now in rounding off, clear. Let's clear the screen. Everything we have been doing since morning is inside this code tribe directory, and what we have done is to create. To round off, we have used this commands ls cd clear touch make directory remove directory copy move cat echo pwd. Okay, some people are raising up their hand, please. Sorry, please.
Powerful.